Hello friends, welcome to episode 90 of the Shauna Stitches Podcast. I'm Shauna, and this is my crafty podcast where I talk about all the things that I've been working on lately. Today is June the 2nd, 2024, and I am filming from my craft room here on the Oregon coast in the Pacific Northwest. And if you happen to hear rain coming down, it's because although it's June 2nd, it is pouring today. We are supposed to get record rainfalls, and some of the normal outdoor activities like the Sunday market are canceled because it's supposed to get that bad. Right now we're just getting rain. Okay, it's been just over a month since I last recorded, and I have so much to talk to you about today. I have a feeling this is going to be a long episode, so if you haven't already gotten something to drink, a project to work on, something to keep your hands busy, I strongly suggest you do that because we're going to be here a while, I think. Yes, I don't even know where to start. I have so much to talk about, and I'll just preface it all by saying May was a shit month. I mean, not for crafting. It was fine for crafting, but I will talk about life stuff towards the end, and yes, I had some life stuff for sure. So let's see. You can find links to everything I talk about down below. That includes where to find me, which is on Instagram and Ravelry as Shauna Stitches. And I should also have all of the projects that I talk about linked to their Ravelry page, where you can find out what needles I use, what yarn I use, any kind of notes that I made, pictures I took along the way. I'm pretty good about documenting stuff there. If for some reason you don't find what you're looking for, please reach out and let me know, and I will help point you in the right direction or answer the question that you might have. And yes, let's show some knitting. The first finished object I had are my May Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. There are two of them. And this beautiful colorway is called Zombody Got Flocked by Desert Vista Dyeworks. And that reference, if you don't get it, is the flamingos that people put in somebody's yard. I guess it's a joke. I don't know. I still don't get it, but I love the colorway. It's just so pretty. And you see, so it's technically a 4-color repeat. So you have the bright pink, kind of a gray speckle stripe, a more coral pink, and then this green speckle. And I just love it. It's so pretty. So those were May. And let's see, the next finished object that I had, this one is a little tricky to show you because, well, you'll see. I'm also going to insert a photo because I have a really good photo. But for now, This is a finished object, and it is full. This is a crochet scrap yarn basket. I made it exactly to the pattern specifications, and I held 4 strands of DK weight acrylic yarn. So if you can see there, it's supposed to be scrappy, but for scrappy, I just did different colors instead of like changing colors throughout. So I had enough to do 1 strand of purple, 1 strand of coral, 1 strand of white, and 1 strand of light pink. So you can see all the colors there. Makes for an interesting like overall color. But yes, I think I need to make another one of these. My original plan for this basket was to bring things into my craft room because honestly, the stuff I'm working on stays out in the living room for the most part. It was to bring stuff in for the podcast. And technically, I did bring stuff in for the podcast, but yes, we will go over what's in this basket later. But yeah, that's a great pattern. I really enjoyed it. Ooh, oof. Do you ever get that where your nail scrapes something wrong, like a chalkboard? Oh, I don't like that. Let me be more careful and pick up my coffee cup. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that noise and it didn't give you the shivers down your back like it did me. Ugh. Okay. The next finished object I had was this beautiful hat. This is my Handspun, and it's a Musselburgh hat, of course. And let me show you. I just spun this. I cannot remember when I finished the spin. It might have been finished in May. Also, I finished this hat so fast, like a week. So I ended up getting, excuse me, about a sport weight yarn from the approximate 4 ounces of fiber. I got somewhere like 330 yards, which would be about a sport weight. I did a 3-ply fractal, meaning for the fiber, I broke the one long strip into 3 equal parts. And then from there, I spun one of those thirds end to end. The second third I broke into 2 pieces, spinning those end to end. And then the third section I broke into 4 pieces, spinning end to end. And what you get when you do that is you do get a lot of marling, but you also get sections where the colors match up. So you get kind of a striping. And my favorite stripes on this, I love this light pink. It's so pretty. And I love this kind of yellowy stripe. So that's all the Handspun, but then you see this end, not Handspun. I was actually doing another spin of a completely unrelated fiber. It was just going to be a solid color like this. And then I remembered that I had this yarn, which is a fingering weight. I held it double. It's a bit thicker than the Handspun portion. And, you know, the color goes, but it honestly doesn't matter because I'm never going to wear this as a top. I don't think. I can't imagine wanting to have the top. But it's just filler because I like my Musselburgh hats to be extra long. I tend to knit the medium stitch count, but with at least the extra long length. Extra large length. And that is because, so there is not folded or folded in on itself, but not brimmed. And I really like a nice big brim to completely cover my ears because I have super sensitive ears. And when there is any kind of wind, even a warm wind, I will get the worst headache. So that's how I like to wear it. I'm not going to put it on today because you might not be able to tell, but I feel like I'm actually having an okay hair day. And normally I don't care, but I actually did try to do it, and you probably can't tell, but it is what it is. So yes, Musselburgh and out of Handspun. It is my first Handspun hat, I think. I would definitely do this again. If I was going to spin for another Musselburgh, just knowing the way that I would spin, I would either spin my singles a bit finer. I spun these to approximately 30 wraps per inch each. So I'd either spin that bit thinner or I would do a 2-ply because I'm pretty sure if I'd done a 2-ply, I'd have more than enough yardage. That's what I have to say about that. It's not hat weather, so next winter I will be getting some use out of that. Actually, I say that, but it's pouring down rain. But like yesterday, it was only maybe 60-ish. It was super muggy, so it wasn't hot, but it just felt gross. Okay. Is that it? Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. That is not it. I have one more finished object, and it's a languishing whip. So, yay me, I finished another old whip. These are a pair of socks that I did in the theme similar to Crazy Sock Lady, where she was doing the share a pair socks, which is by Mandy's Makings. Originally, she was selling 200 grams sets together, but separated into 50 gram skeins each so that you could share them with a friend, hence share a pair. And this, I made my own share a pair set from Knit Picks. The blue is Knit Picks Stroll in the color, what the heck was it? I can tell you, blue Yonder. And the white speckle with the orange and black pops is Knit Picks Hawthorne in the color Karaoke. You can see that I alternated the heels, cuffs, and toes on each sock, which means On the white cuff sock, I started with blue, and on the blue cuff sock, I started with white. Let me just show you. Okay, so you can see it on this one. You see that really drastic line there, which I don't love, but it's on my foot, so it doesn't matter. This side looks great. But you'll notice on this sock, this is the same side of the sock. That's the seam side. So this one looks not bad, like you wouldn't even notice. This one looks a bit ridiculous. And that is because when I first started, I thought I was going to do some kind of jogless jog stripe. And I can't tell you what tutorial I followed, but it actually made it opposite. It's worse. So either I did something wrong or that technique just doesn't work for me. So I quit doing it, but then it made it so that literally the stripes are completely offset. Whereas this one, I did nothing special and they really don't look so obvious. I don't know why that is. So this side of the sock looks much better. And you notice on this one, where did I screw up? Yep, right there. I only did one row of the white. That means this sock technically has one more row than this sock, and my feet will never know, my legs will never know, and now you know. So anyway, those are finished. I did, as I said, I made this, and I sent the other half to a friend in Sweden, and she finished hers a long time ago. So I finally finished these. Oh, let's see. I can tell you when I started these, was it February of 2023? So I finished them in just over a year, which isn't terrible for me. I'm trying to get better about that, but we made progress and we finished an old whip. So that makes me happy. Let's see, works in progress. I did something very interesting yesterday. Yesterday was a Saturday, June the 1st, and I have been on vacation for the last week. So from Memorial Day through this weekend here, I have been off work. It's been lovely. I've been doing a lot of crafting. Not as much like knitting crafting. I've been doing a lot of other stuff, but I have been doing some knitting. And so yesterday I just decided that I had nothing really planned and I was going to see how much of a sock I could knit in one day. So I took pictures and posted to my Instagram stories all throughout the day yesterday, from the cast on, finishing the cuff, 20 rounds of the leg, 40 rounds, 60, 80, doing the heel flap, the gusset, through the foot, finishing the toe. That's right, I finished an entire sock in one day. And that includes Kitchenering and weaving in the ends. So from the time I cast on to the time I cast off was just about 14 hours. In that 14-hour period, obviously I used the bathroom. I made coffee. I made some tea. I cared for my dogs, let them out, gave them medicine, did all that stuff. Showered. We left the house. We had to go to Costco. I did bring my knitting. I knit on the way, but we live pretty close, so not a ton. I did not knit while we were in Costco. Then we went to dinner, and I knit on the way there and on the way back. So I would say there's probably, I think 12 is a little bit high for how much time I actually worked on it if you take all that stuff out. But we'll say about 12 hours. I finished one blueberry waffle sock. This is Desert Vista Dyeworks in the summer rainbow color. And I just think it's so pretty, so bright, and a lot of fun. So yeah, by June 1st, I'd finished one sock, which is amazing. And everyone was asking me if I was going to do that again today. And no, I am not, because I have stuff to do, like talk to you guys, which I have put off for long enough. I did get the second sock started. So I've just finished the cuff. And for any of those, ooh, my yarn is caught. For any of those of you who haven't seen yet my fun little yarn holding contraption, I got this is off of Amazon. It says Artwell on it. I don't know if that's the brand, I assume so. If you just look up magnetic yarn holder on Amazon, you'll be able to find this one and other options. I love this thing. It is so great because I never have to pull the yarn, get more yarn out, because I used to just let it sit beside me and pull up a big long piece and then knit that and then pull up another big long piece. And this is just so awesome. So highly recommend. Again, I got started on the cuff and I will be working on this until it's finished. The other work in progress that I have, which is actually a hoe half object, is my size of my upcoming sock design. Obviously, I'm showing you the back here, not the front. And I'm very happy with how this toe up heel flap has come out. And my size, the math that I put in the pattern worked out perfectly. So the pattern has been submitted and it's with a tech editor. I haven't heard anything yet. So hopefully no news is good news. And I did have one friend test this for me and she was able to complete one whole sock without any issues. So that's good if it is repeatable by someone other than me. And I saw she put the sock on and it fit her. So that's also good. So if you can't tell by the colors of that sock, it is fairly Christmas. I don't have a lisp normally. It's fairly Christmas themed, but it could be adaptable. It doesn't have to be Christmas. It's just the colors I chose. So it should be coming out around that time. I have one sock of mine on the needles where I have probably finished up through about here. So I'm very close to finishing that second sock. And I have one more sock to cast on for my husband's size. And then I will be done with these. And I like the pattern. Obviously, I created it, but I am ready to be done with those for a while. So I think that is pretty much everything that I've worked on in last month. So let's talk about summer sock camp. You guys, I'm so excited for summer sock camp. Usually it seems like this time of year I have something else going on and I don't normally really participate. Like if I was doing Desert Vista Dyeworks, I would submit those socks, but it wasn't where I was just all out like sock focused. This year I decided, because whips are allowed, that I would gather all of my sock whips and make a effort to finish as many of those as I can during summer sock camp. So it's going to be all socks all the time. Maybe. I'm not very good at sticking to my plans, but that is my plan, is that we're going to be focusing on socks. So when I showed you, oh gosh, where's the handle? There it is. When I showed you my crochet basket, this is completely full of sock whips. When I first started, I gathered all the sock whips I could find, which I think is like 99% of them. And I put them all out on my coffee table and I took a photo so that I can cross them off as I go. I will pop that photo up here on the screen so that you can see. I believe in that picture there are 15 socks, but you will see I've already finished one. That was the share pair set. And so that would take me to 14, but then I cast on the Desert Vista Dyeworks because those are still going to be cast ons. So I think I'm still at 15. So let me show you all the socks that I hope to finish. There's no way I won't finish all these, but I'll show you the socks that I might be working on during summer sock camp. I'm probably not going to remember the name of all these or all the yarns, but I did link as many as I could find on my Ravelry page down below. And I think most of them should be there. So this here is the Simple Skip SKYP socks. This is the first sock. And it's in Candy Skein. Is this Luscious maybe? I can't remember, but I do know that the color is Sprinkled Donut. I'm not sure if that's a color she always has, but it's a really fun one. I love this sock. I've talked about it before, but when I was knitting this sock way back when, I put in a Fish Lips Kiss heel, and I can't tell you the last time I knit that kind of heel on a sock because I just decided it doesn't fit my instep well. I do see that I used the Gusset Mini, I can't remember what it's called. It's a pattern by Mina Phillip. It's her Mini Gusset something. Anyway, I did do that. So I think for the next sock, I will just do my standard slip stitch heel flap, and they will be not quite matching, but it'll be okay. Yeah. So there is WIP number 1. Or I should say summer sock camp project number 1. I did not show the bag. This is in my So Much Yarn, It's a Little Time bag. This was sent to me by the same friend that we did that share a pair set swap. So I love this bag. This is like, I don't know, the epitome of me. So much yarn, so little time. Always. The next project is in this cute little bag. I've had this almost since I started knitting. It's by Sockcetra. I feel like she used to have a podcast, which is why I bought this, and I don't even remember her name, or I don't think she has a podcast anymore. So this project is a pair of Colorwork socks. The yarn is Cascade 220 fingering in the color, oh gosh, where are they? Castor Gray and Tutu. Tutu is the pink. And I used a random gray mini from my stash for the heels, cuffs, and toes, because this one, I think it's Knitpick Stroll in Dove Heather, maybe. But that would have nylon, whereas the Cascade does not. So I have to remember not to put these through the wash. But you can see I have one full sock, and I am to the foot or gusset of the second sock, and I have dropped stitches. Good thing this is a sticky yarn. They didn't go very far. So yeah, I love this pattern so much. It is by Ducathi, Ducathi on Ravelry, and it's called the Power Flower June socks. I love these. Let's see. Yep, nothing else exciting, just the yarn in the project bag. So these are almost done. These will probably be fairly high on my get it done list because I only need to do a foot and a toe. The next sock, I don't even know what's in these, so we're finding out as we go. But the next project bag is by Mina Phillip of Knitting Expat. Again, this is one of my very early on project bags because I don't even think that well, I know she doesn't because she barely podcasts anymore. But her label there, Mina Makes, and I just love this. It looks like it's quilted, but it's not. It's just the fabric. And in here, oh, these probably will not get done because, first of all, they're a tangled mess. And second of all, I already plan on ripping out the pattern section. So we have the start of 2 DRK Everyday socks in my handspun yarn, which is a cable ply yarn, my first and only time ever doing cable ply. And I do know that the fiber I spun is Cheviot, and it was a pink, white, and gray braid. And cable ply, if I'm remembering right, I did two plies and then plied those together. So it's a 4-ply sock yarn. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. So it kind of makes like a cable sort of look, like kind of like a braid. It's supposed to make for a very strong sock yarn. So I don't know why I didn't make it very far on these. Maybe because of the tangled mess. I do remember, not that I remember actually, it's in my Ravelry notes that I started these 2 at a time. So I know that was part of my hesitation. And then you see I split them into 2 and then that happened. It's going to take some unraveling. And like I said, I plan on ripping back the pattern portion and probably just doing a vanilla sock, or maybe just doing the pattern on the top of the foot. I haven't decided yet. So these probably will not get done during summer sock camp, but I would like to finish them at some point. My next project bag, this one I got with an advent from Charming You. I always want to say Charming You. Looks like the pattern maker, or the bag maker is Button and Boo. And I love these project bags. I have 2 of them. I'm not sure if the other one's in there or not. They're so great because they have little pockets inside. And this is another whip that needs to get finished. This is the Contrast Blast Socks by Stephen West. They are crazy. My yarn, I do remember, is K&C hand dyed in the hot pink and acid green colors. I really do. Sock is fun. I like the way it looks. I'm not sure how it will fit. But I finished the first sock and I did cast on the second sock, but that's as far as I got. I have a lot of yarn in this bag. So much so, if I remember right, I was pretty certain I would be able to make 2 pairs. I don't know if that'll happen or if I'll just save it for something different. But yes, I can definitely see finishing this pair during summer sock camp because that should go fairly fast just to finish 1 sock. And let's see. Here we go. Another very old project bag. This is by Mrs. Brown Bags from my very, very early knitting days. And in here, oh yes, this one probably isn't getting finished either, but it is a possibility to work on. This is an actual share a pair. The yarn is by Mandy's Makings. And the colorway, where is it? It is Popsicle Paradise. So very pretty. And let's see, where's my, I don't know. Hopefully I wasn't trying to do the jog thing on this one. I think it looks okay. Also, the colors are less contrasty, so it shouldn't show up quite as bad. These are the 2 colors. Oh, I love that green and the peach. So yes, I just need to work on these because that one that I finished went really pretty quickly. I just have to do it. Let's see. In this fun superhero bag, it's all like women version of superheroes by Erica Schmerica, who I used to follow on Instagram, and I don't think she's on there anymore, which makes me kind of sad. I really enjoyed her posts. This is the Rhinebeck Roomies sock. Pattern is by Kay Litton of the Crazy Sock Lady. And you see, I just have part of a leg. I didn't make it very far. The yarn is Candy Skein, which if you didn't know, Candy Skein is my local yarn store. So that's why I have a lot of it. But this pretty color, let's see if I can figure out. The color is, oh, it was a December of 2022 colorway. So no color name. It's really pretty. And yeah, I don't know if I'll finish these, but I need to. Yesterday when I was doing my sock knitting marathon, I was watching so many podcasts, lots talking about summer sock camp, and I saw somebody had knit an entire pair of Rhinebeck Roomies, and they said that they liked how soft and squishy the fabric is. And I would say that's true. She also said it's a very easily memorizable pattern, which I love. And honestly, it's been so long since I worked on those. I don't know. I'd have to look at it again, but it should be easy once I pick it up. Okay. Oh, I know what's in this one. This project bag, which I just love. It's like quilted with quilting filling and super soft. I don't remember who made it. I know I got it off of Etsy. Oh, here we go. It is Rosa by Lily. Again, love this bag. And what's in here are my number 2 pencil socks for my husband. So it has the pink eraser, the little metal portion, and the ridges of a pencil. And if you didn't know, my husband used to be a teacher. He's no longer a teacher, but I think he still wants these. The colors that I'm using are all Knit Pick Stroll. And there they are. So the one that you haven't seen yet is the tan, the cork, and then black for the pencil lead, the graphite. So yeah, I think these will be super easy too once I actually pick them up. I'm using the pattern by the Yarn Enabler. She actually has, I think, an entire skein dyed to make a sock like this, and I just bought different colors. So I'm just following the pattern. But I used what looks like a Fish Lips Kiss heel, or maybe it's the Shadow Wrap heel. Either way, a short row heel, and I probably will do that for Glenn's second sock. He's never complained about the way that they fit, and he has a different kind of shaped foot than I do. I'm gonna have to pause because my nose is running and allergies are killing me, but I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and we have just a few more sock whips to go through. In this bag here by All Knit Up Designs, I remember this came in either an Advent package that I bought or an Advent swap. I don't remember where exactly it came from. And I recognize the sock as Intersections by Marceline. Is it Smith? I believe her last name is Smith. She's Hey Brownberry on Instagram. If you saw the episode where I talked about this sock before, I was like, oh, I know I finished another one and I just can't find it. I'll, look through my stuff. Well, this is the one that I had finished. I originally had put the cable all the way around the leg and I could barely get it on. So I had frogged back to, I guess, the instep portion, and I'm only doing the pattern on the front of the leg. So this is sock 1. This, if you don't know, is from the book 52 Weeks of Socks. When I bought the book, I had planned on going through all the socks, and here we are at number 1. I don't remember when I cast this on, but it's been a long time. I really do want to finish this, and I still would like to go through that book. The yarn, again, is Candy Skein. And let's see if I can figure out the colorway. It is Jelly Roll. So pretty. And nothing else exciting in that bag. Okay. I can see the bottom of the crochet bucket bag, so that's good. This bag here is a watercolor painting design that Mina Phillip made. And she put it on, was it Spreadshirt or something like that? I can't remember. I don't think it says. Anyway, she had them listed for a while where you could buy them, and I just love it. Of course, I love anything rainbow, so that makes me happy. Oh, I do know what socks these are. So these socks, funny enough, I had marked as frogged on Ravelry, but clearly they weren't frogged because here it is. I guess I had planned on frogging it. And what it is 2 colors of yarn, and I am helical knitting. So the reason I was making these was because I'd made a pair exactly like this helical knit for my husband, and I had enough yarn that I cast on one for me and then must have lost interest. So I don't know. I did mark them. I removed them from frogged and put them back into whips. So maybe, I don't mind helical knitting. I think it makes a fun sock. Okay, this is the last one in the basket. And this is a cute little project bag. That's a bucket bag. It doesn't seal. And it is by Molly Klein Design. I just love the fabric. I think it's Rifle Paper Company, something like that, but I love their prints. I actually have 2 socks in here. The first one is the Helgen socks by Anna Knitter, and this is all I have done. The sock is Knitted Wit in a Creepy Crawler, And I cast this on way back when. I remember we were out of town. I think we were out of town for OFF, which is the Oregon Flock and Fiber Festival in Albany. What year would that have been? 2022, maybe? And I cast these on for my father-in-law. I still want to finish those. The last project that I have to show you are the Dustland socks, which is a pattern by Stephen West. And I finished that first sock and just barely cast on the second. Looks like I have a cuff. And these are for my mother-in-law, although I have to, yeah, they're pretty stretchy. I was knitting her socks just barely bigger than mine because her foot's a little bit bigger, and she gave me some feedback on a few pairs that they were just not quite long enough. And I remember making this longer, but hopefully long enough. So, yeah, so I just need to finish that. And there's the yarn. I believe the yarn is Adrienne Wools. It was one of the, gosh, what was that company that did the monthly yarn subscriptions? I can't remember. Let's see. Well, I still don't know I can't remember. I just can't remember the subscription name, but it is Adrienne Wool's Luxury Sock in Calico Quilt is the color. And it being luxury sock, I do believe it has cashmere in it. So my mother-in-law will be very happy with those, I think. And I would, let's see, can I finish three socks? Probably. I would like to make these a priority because they are coming to visit in the last week of June. They live in Arizona, so I don't see them very often. So it'd be really nice to give them these in person. So when I put all those back in my basket, I might just put them towards the top. But yeah, there's the basket, almost empty. I have a few little patterns and such at the bottom. You see, I didn't even take the time to weave in the ends, and yeah, maybe I will, maybe I won't, doesn't matter. But I love this basket. I really might make a second one because it is great for keeping whips in. And I do like the idea of having some easy way so I don't have to make multiple trips into my craft room. I think I already said earlier when I was showing the basket, but yeah, I put both of the chihuahuas in there and they fit with some room. They didn't want to stay in, but yeah, they fit. So it was cute. Okay, so that is my summer sock camp plans. I would like to get as many of those finished as I can and still do my monthly Desert Vista Dyeworks socks. That's all the knitting. It was a lot. I do have a little bit of other crafting to talk about. I have been quilting like crazy. I already sent off 2 of the quilts in the mail to my nieces that live in Colorado. They should be getting those tomorrow, and I'm very excited to hear which one my older niece will choose because I bought the first jelly roll, which I'll show you the picture here. I bought this, which kind of has blues and pinks. I don't know when I bought it, but over a year ago, because when I bought it with the intention of making her a quilt, I know we hadn't been to Colorado yet, which was June of last year. And I also know she did not have a little sister. The little sister wasn't even like, well, maybe it was a thought for them, but it wasn't for me. So I finally made that, and then I realized that I needed to buy a second jelly roll so I could make one for the sister, because that's how siblings work. You can't make one for one and then not something for the other. So even though the younger sister is not even a year old yet, you know, I wanted her to have one to use now and also when she gets older. So I bought this pink and yellow kind of themed jelly roll, which I don't know. I like them both. I can't pick a favorite, but I think I'm leaning towards that yellow one. Maybe it's just the time of year. It's really bright and sunny looking. So even though I bought the bluish one with the intention of going to the older sibling, when I wrote and sent off the package to their parents, I said, let her pick which one she likes best, and the other sister can have the other one, because that's what happens when you're the younger sibling, right? So yes, hopefully those are well received and make it where they need to go. It's always a little scary sending something that you spend a lot of time on through the mail and hoping it gets there. And then I decided to make a quilt for my best friend, and this is still in progress, but whereas the ones for my nieces that I showed are 1 jelly roll. To do a king size, I had to buy 4 jelly rolls. And in retrospect, I would have only bought 3. I think I can get a very good size quilt with just 3, but I did get 4. Pop in a photo here. This is the quilt top only on my king size bed, and what you can't see at the bottom is that I have like a chest and it's completely covering that. So I had to take like 16 inches off the bottom, and I still need to find backing fabric and make the quilt sandwich and do all that. I am really hoping I can figure out a way to quilt this on my Singer 1 home sewing machine. I don't know. I just don't know that the throat space, which is the empty space under the top, I don't know parts of a sewing machine, but you have to shove a lot of quilt through there, and even on those little throw size ones, that was hard. So I'm hoping I can, but we'll see. So that is something I'm kind of working on in the background. And the other thing I've been working on is some spinning. I really wanted to learn how to do long draw on my electric eel wheel. As you know, I do have 2 finished little skeins here. I have been working on long draw on supported spindles with these. The blue one is 15.1 grams, approximately 100 yards. It's just a little 2-ply. And the pink one is 7.8 grams and 41 yards. So these are going towards maybe my spin for these. They go in with the theme. I kind of haven't been working on that lately, so we'll see what happens. But yes, like I said, I really wanted to learn long draw. Holy cow, there is a learning curve, but I think I finally got it. They look pretty consistent. I'm super excited to get these plied up. I have 1 more bobbin to go, which is currently on my wheel. This isn't a super high priority project, but I would like to get it done because I did something fun. I blended up some fiber that I processed myself. The white portion that you see is a BFL Merino Cross. It's my first fleece, which I now have maybe 4, but I'm still working through my first fleece. And I carded in, no, did I card? No, on my blending board, I blended and then dizzed off, kind of roving. Let's see if I can undo this for you without ruining my roving here. So there you go. That's what it looks like. The colorful portion is a polyamide blend. It's like all all man-made. So my thought is I blended it in a 75-25 blend, and I want to spin up a sock yarn. So I did spin up a sample and knit that up. I know it's super hard to see. This sample is chain plied, whereas I plan on doing a traditional 3-ply. I have 3 bags of fiber, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. I spun the singles for this to 35 wraps per inch, and I knit this sample on a 2.25 millimeter, and I think it just looks perfect. This, if my whole spin comes out as great as my sample, this will be the best sock yarn I have ever spun. Now I can't account for whether or not I think the sturdiness will be equal to that of like a commercial 75-25, but as in the density, the thickness, the consistency, yeah, just all that. It's so pretty. So when I actually do a 3-ply, you won't see kind of this has a little bit of a striping effect. I know it's so hard to see. But because this is a chain ply, the colors don't blend as much as they would. But I just think it's so pretty, and I cannot wait to spin that up. So I think that's all the crafting. Let me talk about life stuff. So I'm going to do my best not to cry because I have done more crying in the month of May than probably my entire life. And I already feel like I'm getting a little bit not okay. So, yes, we had to put my dog Rudy down. And yeah, this is going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. I'm going to pause. Okay, I can do this. Yes, we had to put Rudy down, and Rudy was my Chihuahua that I rescued from a animal shelter, and I had him for about 13 years. And I'm still gonna cry. Anyway, look at this. Isn't this so fun? I found this site online that makes these pet pillows, and this is Rudy. So, yep, I've always got him. Gosh, talking about sad stuff sucks. Okay, I'm really going to try and make it through. So, yes, he had been declining. We knew he had kidney disease, and a vet a couple years ago had told me that once the kidney disease had really gotten bad, that he wouldn't want to eat, and he was definitely at that point, and he'd gone blind and deaf, and it seemed like when he'd go out in the yard, he used to be able to find his way back to the door pretty easily. We could clap really loud and he would hear that, and he could kind of like a bat almost like hone in to where the noise is coming from. And he just couldn't find his way anymore, and he kept getting lost in the yard, and he'd wander to areas where he would never normally go and just start barking because he didn't know where he was, and yeah, just the not eating and stuff. So it was time. He was probably around 15 because when I adopted him, they estimated he was around 2, but it's hard to know. But yeah, in his little doggy life, he had a lot of issues. He had 2 knee surgeries. He had to have his anal glands removed. I know that's a little TMI, but yeah, he had lots of surgeries, lots of issues. And yeah, it just sucks. Like, you can never be ready. So yeah, that's why May sucked. That's why I haven't podcasted. I thought that I could make it through today without like being too emotional, but clearly not. So let's talk about something not emotional. I have still been reading. I am somewhere over 150 days on my reading streak. And I thought I would tell you what I have been reading lately. So the last time I was really talking to you, I was still reading Outlander, I think. I finally finished all the Outlanders. I'm a little bummed, but there's supposed to be one more book coming out at some point. I just don't know when. But since then, I have read In a Dark Mirror by Kat Davis. I am certain that this was one of the Kindle first reads, but I don't remember for what month. And I'm terrible at remembering like what books were about, but I remember thinking it was like 4 stars. I liked it. I just can't remember which one that was. I want to say, oh yeah, that was the one about 2 teens who think that they see this, I don't know, they're having mental problems for sure. And I guess, although the book doesn't reference it's based on a true story, people were saying that it's very similar to another actual murder or attempted murder where 2 teens get together and try and kill another teen. So that was interesting. That kind of is in my world where I deal with bad stuff like that all the time. So reading about it is, I don't know if interesting is the right word. I don't know. I enjoyed the book, even though it's dark. The next book I read was The Alone Time. I know that was another Kindle first, and that's by Ellie Marie, or Elle Marie, E-L-L-E. And it's not Marie, I can't read. Elmar, M-A-R-R. And that was good, but also pretty dark. It's about 2 parents, 2 kids. The dad is a pilot for just like a small little aircraft, and they crash in the Pacific Northwest forest. So kind of interesting that it happened in the book. It's not real, but that it happened in Washington. So that was kind of fun. And yeah, really kind of crazy. But I did enjoy it. It was a quick read for me. I gave that 4 stars. The next one I read was a Kindle first, and it's The Lost Letters of Aisling, Aisling. I'm not sure how you say that. Where was that? Was that Scotland? I'm pretty sure. And that's by Cynthia Ellingson. And it's not my normal kind of book. So it started out kind of slow for me, and then I really got into it and I read it very quickly. Again, I gave that 4 stars. It's about a mother, daughter, grandmother. The grandmother is in the hospital. She's on her deathbed, and she says she wants to go back to her hometown, to her house she grew up in, because she needs to find these letters. And so she asked the granddaughter to go help her. And what I like about this book, and actually I want to say all 3 of these, but I could be mistaken, but several of these that I just mentioned, they go between timelines where they're at the current time and then they go back in time telling the story. And I like that. Because it's interesting where you get tidbits from the future or, present time, and then you go back and you get tidbits and you put them all together. That to me is fun. Then I read Don't Forget Me. That was another Kindle first by Rhea Frey. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember anything about that one, which is bad because I read it after the other ones. It must have been a quick read. Oh, the other one that's not showing up here. I read Britney Spears' autobiography or biography. Is it called The Woman in Me? I don't know. I checked it out from my library. Holy crap, that was terrible. I finished it, but it was bad. I don't know how there's like 4 stars on Goodreads and Amazon. They must be die-hard Britney Spears fans, because I'm not. Like, I don't really feel any way about her, but it was like, I remember when the book was coming out and people were talking about it and how good it was, and of course, the big drama I was already aware of. I heard about when the book came out, that she claims to have been pregnant by Justin Timberlake and had an abortion. So that honestly was the most scandalous part of the whole book. She talks about people in there, never mentions their name, and it's just like a couple sentences, and then she goes on to the next thing. Like, none of it makes any sense. It is written at an elementary level. I don't know. I hated it. I gave it 2 stars. I don't know why I didn't give it 1 star, but don't waste your time unless you're a diehard Britney Spears fan, and then maybe you'll love it. But then I went back to Libby as the app I use through my library, and I just looked for available books now, and the Friends, Lovers, and Big Terrible Thing by Matthew Perry of Friends, that was on there. So now I'm reading that. So I went from Britney Spears to Matthew Perry's book, and at 8% into Matthew Perry's book, I knew it was 1000% better than Britney Spears' book. So that's what I think about that. He actually goes in depth to some things. He talks about things, it's in the title, Big Terrible Thing. And he talks about how he is, or, I guess was now, since he's passed away, but he's an addict, and like his whole life he's an addict. And he seems to be very forthcoming about that stuff. So it's interesting to me, and I can appreciate the fact that he, from what I can tell, is being very truthful. And, it just didn't make sense to me why Britney Spears' book, why would you write a book like that and then, I don't know, just skim the surface? It just doesn't make any sense, but I don't know. So, I don't know. I think that's it. You know what? I have one more sock work in progress, and how funny. This is not in a knitting bag. This is from Brian Associates. That's who I bought my house through. I don't know why I have the bag. Anyway, what's in here, and the reason it's in there is because there's so many skeins of yarn. This is my 2023 temperature sock. If I remember correctly, I have finished the leg for the first sock. So that was January down here through someday in July, I believe. Luckily, I have a spreadsheet. But let me just tell you, there are so many ends to weave in on the sock. I think it's cool. I love the idea. But clearly, I put it down and haven't done anything. Yeah, I mean, this just gives you an idea of some of the ends. I was trying to do the knit them in method or weave in as you go, and I know I did that back here at some point, but I just wasn't very happy with it, and so I am weaving them all in, and it's a lot. So yes, I won't even show you all the yarns, but I will try and hold this up so you can see some of them. There's a lot of yarn in there, and it's all just different. It's whatever I could find in my stash that was sort of a rainbow order. And that is truly the last sock work in progress that I'm going to show you. And I think that's it. So thank you for sticking in there with me. And I know during the part I talked about Rudy, I did not say all the things I wanted to say. Let me just say, to those of you who reached out and knew I was having a hard time, sent me some beautiful cards, some other things in the mail, just thank you so much. Your words on Instagram or wherever meant the world to me. It was truly very, very difficult. It's still very difficult, obviously. So I'm thankful that I have the other dogs, because I don't know, if I had to come home to a completely empty, quiet house, I don't think I would handle that very well. I told my husband, I was like, we always have to have at least 2 chihuahuas. I can't do it. Anyway, thank you for joining me. If you stuck in this long, thank you so much. I appreciate you all being here and watching. Your comments are always appreciated. So if you would like to leave me a comment down below, I'll be happy to read that and answer back if there's a question or anything. So, okay, I'm going to sign off. Talk to you later. Bye.